Hi ladies, my name is Kayla Anderley and I'm from Henrietta, Texas, but I currently live in Cambridge, Ohio. My husband and I decided to make the full move with our whole family up here to Ohio back in May, at the end of May actually, so we haven't been here very long because my husband works up here part of the year and then he would come home to Texas, and we now have 4 small children, so it was getting a little hard doing it by myself and being mom and dad, so we made the best decision for our family and we moved here to Ohio. So it's definitely not as hot as it is in Texas, but we have 4 children and our oldest is 7, then we have 5, 3, and Maylee is 5.5 months. So we've been pretty busy with the move and having a new baby and all of that. And I feel like my business has suffered a little bit from the transition and everything that comes along with that. So I'm super excited to be in here to get to know a lot of you and to see what all the knowledge everybody can muster up together. So I've told my story in front of over 100 women before, but I've never been as nervous as I am now. But here it goes. I had been mostly active as a child. I was super active in high school as a powerlifter. I was a runner. I got offered to run at 2 colleges, but I ended up not. I ended up cracking the bones in my feet, so that led me elsewhere. I met my husband of almost 10 years on a blind date in college, and we had our first child almost 2 years after we got married, and then we had our second child, and I knew I had suffered a little bit of postpartum depression with having him, but my doctor really didn't do anything about it. He just kind of nonchalantly asked me if I needed to be medicated, and I just told him no. I'm not crazy. I don't need medication. So I kind of let that go on, and I ended up having I didn't really know what it was, but I was having heart palpitations, so I went to the doctor. They found something on my EKG, and they called me like at 7 or 8 at night. It's kind of scary, and said I need to be in first thing in the morning. I was totally freaked out. My husband was kind of freaking out as well. I had a little baby, and I was young, and I didn't know what the heck was going on with my heart. So after doing tons of sonograms, tons of tests on my heart, being monitored on that heart monitor for almost 2 weeks and going through the whole spiel, the doctor concluded that I was anxious and I was suffering from high anxiety and depression. So, which I had no clue what that was, so reaching out through my priest, and he referred me to a counselor, and ending up in a psychologist's office was not the proudest moment of my life, I can tell you that. And trying to get my husband there with me. I kind of, remember sitting there looking around thinking, how in the world did I get here? Because I didn't know how, or like why I was anxious, why I was depressed. Even after the second child, I'd gotten pregnant pretty quickly with the third one. And I had to have monitors on my heart all through the pregnancy to make sure she wasn't putting any pressure on my heart, things like that. So after having her, I never got out of my robe, the stupid purple robe Marley told y'all about. I never got on the floor and played with my kids. I felt isolated. I was a stay-at-home mom, and I just didn't know what else was out there. I just thought that that's what you did every day was, break up the fights and let the kids watch TV all day, and, sometimes if you felt like it, go outside and feed them junk, basically. I mean, I wasn't totally unhealthy, but, chicken nuggets every day and macaroni, come on. So it was the same thing every day. I wasn't sleeping good at night, but my kids were sleeping, and so I would just wake up the next morning just dreading the day, just was tired. I just didn't feel good at all, and I just didn't know what else there was out there for me. So I was actually at one of my best friend's house, and I saw she had a bag of Shakeology sitting on the counter, and I said, oh, hold on a second, what, maybe? I gotta finish this real quick, okay?
I don't brush my teeth. Can I have a snack?
No, I'm not actually brushed your teeth before. And that's my third one. And so,
Hello.
and so, I saw she had a bag of Shakeology on the counter, and I was like, oh, I was cleaning her house because she was getting ready to move, and I was helping her, and she's like, oh yeah, you can try that Shakeology, and I was like, great, that's wonderful. Hold on, Gracie, you cannot do that. And so I like left her like a $20 check on the counter for her bag of Shakeology, and I was like, oh, I want to give her something for it. I just want to take it. Had no clue what I had, no clue what it was, but she just said to just drink it every day, and shake it up in a cup and just go. And I was like, okay. So it was like vegan chocolate, and I just stuck it in a shaker cup with milk, and I just shook it, and I was like, oh, this is pretty good. I can do this. I can drink it every day. So I just started drinking that shake every day. And without even noticing it, I ended up sleeping better through the night. I started sleeping all night. My husband just noticed. I didn't even notice, but he said, oh my gosh, like what's happened to you? What has changed in you? It's like you're like alive again. Like you are happy. You're smiling, like you're getting out of the house. You're getting dressed every day. Like you're getting fixed up. Like what's going on? Well, he saw me drinking that shake, and he's like, I don't care what you got to do, but you're going to drink that shake every day. And right at that point, he had gotten laid off. Oil had gotten low, and so he took a layoff for just a little bit. It wasn't long. But he said, I don't care what you got to do. You're going to drink that shake, and you're going to drink it every day. And so I did, and I saw 15 pounds come off. I felt alive. I felt like I wanted to exercise again. I had energy. I was playing with the kids. We were getting out of the house. I was getting on the floor and playing with them. I was being my better self for them. And that made all the difference in the world for me. And so as soon as my husband saw the difference in me, he's like, well, heck yeah, I'm drinking that stuff too. So he started drinking Shakeology. And ever since then, I just really just got on the nutrition bandwagon and really changed my whole outlook for my family. My son, Matthew, was we almost thought at first a little bit of autism, but then we ruled that out. But he was just the way he acted and stuff. But then I really toned into his nutrition and just really changed everything for our family, going clean eating. And it has been the best thing that I've ever done for my family. And being able to exercise. And now my husband and I are full-time living together. So now we get to do it together. And he's actually kind of doing a little bit of business too. I'm working on that part. But for the longest time, I had suffered and I had lost myself for so long. And finding this community really helped me to find out who I am. And because I had lost my identity as a mom of 3, but now transitioning after I found Beachbody, and then now having my 4th child, the transition was so much better. And I know who I am, and I know who I am as a mom, and how great I can be for my kids and my family, and I can give them 100% me that I need. And so anyway, that's just a little bit of my story that I want to share with you ladies, and I hope to get to know a lot of you even more. I'll talk to you soon.